Welcome back to Full Speed Racing. We're on the Silverstone National Circuit with action from the Qmn Motorsport Saloon Car Championship on Qmn's Motor Spares Tin Tops. After getting a little bit of a flavour of the paddock, the cars on their formation lap getting ready for the rolling start as ever. A huge field headed by Rick May in his Ford Escort, alongside him on the front row of the grid Dale Gent in his Subaru Impreza, and then it's Alex Sidwell, Malcolm Wise, a very, very potent second row of the grid. Well in excess of 30 cars lined up, ready for the race to get underway, as wait for the red lights to flash out, and it will be the responsibility of the white Escort of Rick May to pace the field on their way. And away we go now, and Rick May shoots into the early advantage, with Dale Gent in the Subaru doing what he can to stay with him as they turn their way into Copse Corner for the first time of asking. It's Bill Richards in the Mini, as ever, very much in the thick of the action as he tries to pick his way around the Honda of Stuart Hutchinson, also in pursuit of Steve Rothery's Clio. As they arrive into Beckett's the first time, it's Rick May from Dale Gent. Then we have got Malcolm Wise, who's next along. Further back it's Ian Butler in that white Ford Focus, who's ahead of this train, which is tailed by Bill Richards, who picks his way past Rothery's Clio. There is Andy Woodstein in the bright yellow McGowan, one of the championship front runners in Qmn Motorsport New Saloons, as Dale Gent's moved into the lead already, clear of Rick May. There's Ravi Ramied in the yellow BMW. He's got then Jamie Liptrot in the blue BMW, trying to pick his way past him. Ramied, a former driver in the Marangoni Production BMW Championship, had a few adventures in that, and unfortunately his race gets off to an inauspicious start as he loses a glut of places in the early running. He's now got Tony Paxman trying to pick his way past him in the Mark 1 Escort as they all fan out at the end of the first lap. Already Dale Gent has been and gone. This is the fight then for second and third. It's still Rick May just clear of Malcolm Wise in the white and yellow Escort, and then Jamie Liptrot's BMW as well. Temperamental, that BMW, when it goes, my goodness, it really goes. So Ian Butler's Ford Focus trying to join in. Bill Richards staying with them. Steve Rothery just ahead of him in the Clio as well. They're going to try and pick his way past Richards at Beckett's. It's really the corners where the Mini has the advantage down the straight. She's able to stay with the bigger, more powerful cars. He sometimes can't pick his way past them in terms of raw pace alone, as Rick May gets it all wrong into Brooklands, and May goes sideways. Liptrot spins in sympathy. Ian Butler also gets badly delayed as a result of that. And to the rest of them all avoid, there's Tom Bridger going to one side. Glenn Roster gets into all sorts of trouble in the Clio. He spins around, taking evasive action as well. Also Graham Richardson in the Vauxhall Nova was somewhat delayed, so it's a very different looking order that comes through at the end of the second lap of the race. So that spin for Rick May, it really does take from contention one of the expected front runners. Paul Leave has come forward very, very strongly as well in the Sierra. Have another look at this, and Rick May just gets the braking all wrong. The rear of the car overtakes the front. He slithers sideways. Paul Leave takes evasive action. Jamie Liptrot spins in sympathy. In Butler jumps on the anchors. And that's really the first accident. The second one then follows about 15 or so cars later. Tom Bridger in the Tomcat takes evasive action. Glenn Rossiter and Graham Richardson arrive on the scene far too quickly. Rossiter pirouettes the Clio. Everybody else safely through. Back then to the fight for second position. Malcolm Wise under pressure from Paul Leave. And then Steve Rothery and Bill Richards continuing their squabble. Through Copse Corner they come. Accelerating on towards Beckett's, and these laps of the National Circuit get reeled off so rapidly, just over 60 seconds for the quickest cars in the race. As they head into the braking zone for Beckett's. Turn hard right and then immediately onto the National Straight, back down to Brooklands. It's a very enjoyable circuit to race on. It's one of the reasons why you always get such large grids for National Circuit meetings. Thumbs up from Bill Richards. I think he's enjoying this battle with Steve Rothery. Hesitate to use the word veteran or venerable in either case, but they've both been racing for many seasons. They know how to race cleanly, know how to race fairly as well. And therefore I think they'll be confident they'll have a thoroughly enjoyable tussle, but one that will end without any unnecessary unnecessary shenanigans. So Bill Richards putting all the pressure onto Rothery through the corners. Rothery then able to sprint clear down the straight. Meanwhile, in the Cannons Motorspares Tin Tots battle, it's Tom Bridger and the Rover Tomcat who leads from the MG of Terry Searles. They've really been two of the preeminent front runners all season. Richards, who started the mini festival recently, continues to get very, very well acquainted with the rear of Steve Rothery's. There we've got Ravi Ramied, who's recovering very well from that early spin and about to pick his way past Andy Woods-Dean as they arrive into Beckett. So the fight for 4th and 5th continues apace, but they're about to be joined by Ramied, as here is the race leader, Dale Gent, in the Subaru. He's just put a lap on David Charlton, somewhat athletic Beetle. The old-style Beetles are one of the few old-style Beetles that you see racing these days. And Gent romping up through the order. Then we've still got the Rothery and Richards battle. 3 wheels, of course, for Bill Richards, because it's the Mini. It's at Silverstone. A different rear wheel lifted on the occasion of turning through Luffield. And that time, Richards will be able to draw alongside Rothery and may be able to squeeze through as they turn into Woodcote. As Paul Leave looks to make the move for second position on Malcolm Wise and goes through and takes the place. So Paul Leave goes second. What about 4th? Richards got the inside line. Rothery, though, finds the traction around the outside, maintains that 4th position as he has done throughout the course of the race. And there is Ravi Ramied. Further back, Graham Richardson in the Nova, about to be overhauled by the recovering Rick May as well. They've also got Stephen Booth. Here's Big Sierra just ahead of them, and Booth gets demoted fairly promptly as well. So May has certainly got the pace in that car. Fortunately, and somewhat frustratingly for him, he's also got an awful lot of ground to make up. And Malcolm Wise has encountered trouble, so Wise pulls off the road. So this suddenly promotes this battle to the 1 for 3rd position. So Rothery into 3rd, then 4th for Bill Richards, back into car with Bill Richards, and last time round he was able to draw alongside into Woodcote. That's exactly what he's able to do on this occasion as well, but it would suggest that Steve Rothery is probably fairly confident of having his nose in front by the time they arrive into Copse Corner. Is that the way it's going to play out? Indeed, it's exactly as predicted, although Rothery maybe carried a little bit too much pace into Copse on that occasion. Indeed he did, and so Bill Richards able to sprint through, all the while though they're being caught by the yellow BMW. Very Ramied. Then we've got battle going behind Andy Woods-Dean from Hutchinson, and also Ian Butler, part of that squabble. So around Beckett, and already sprinting down the National Straight. The real key to Beckett is to carry as much speed as possible through the midpoint of the corner, so you can get the power down as early as you can. Tom Bridger still leads the Cannons Motorspares Tin Tops component of the race, with then Graham Richardson and Terry Searles. Next along, Dale Gent, command of the race overall. And Ravi Ramied has now found his way past Steve Rothery, so Rothery demoted. Andy Woods-Dean looking to join on Tettel as Charlton gets lapped as well by some of these other runners. Then it's Ian Butler next along in the Ford Focus. Then we've got Hutchinson as well. They're also trying to pick their way past Dominic Ryan's Ford Fiesta as well. Jamie Littrot trying to insert himself back into that scrap as well as he recovers from the earlier spin. The next target is Gary Cole's Citroen BX. So here is Ravi Ramied. This a good drive from Ravi, and he's possibly in a position to challenge Bill Richards here as they arrive into Maggots and then Beckett's, and that's the switch for 3rd. So Ramied goes 3rd. Richards is going to do what he can to fight back into Beckett's. But I suspect the straight line advantage of the BMW is going to be sufficient, that Ramied should be able to sprint clear down the National Straight. Richards gave it all through Beckett's, but it's not going to be enough unless really Bill Richards does something fairly dramatic on the brakes. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to do that. And he is going to beat Ravi Ramied, who converts that into 3rd position and is able to maintain it. Still onto 3 wheels, of course, for Bill Richards in the steel-bodied Mini. Working around Luffield. It's a corner that never seems to end. Well, Glenn Rossiter has recovered very well from his earlier spin. He's in pursuit of Russell Turner. They are all battling for Cannons Motorspares Tin Tops honours. Still Terry Searles, Graham Richardson and Tom Bridger up the road ahead of them. There is Richardson, he's second amongst the Tin Top runners. Then Searles in the red MG. It's Tom Bridger who still leads the Cannons Tin Tops race, and he's been able to break clear of this quartet. Replay once more of the three wheels on my wagon antics from Bill Richards through Brooklands, and it is the rear left that gets raised. Switch across the field, rear right goes up in the air. Dale Jed absolutely speeding through this field. He's about to put a lap on to Ian Butler, and that means that he'll have lapped everybody up to the fourth place car of Bill Richards. Between the start of the race and the checkered flag, it has been dominant stuff from Dale Jed as he accelerates through Woodcote. The checkered flag goes out, and it is the win in the Quafe Motorsport News Saloon Car Championship for Dale Jed, emphatically so at Silverstone. Having lapped so much of the pack, have a fairly lengthy wait now for Paul Eve, who's some 40 seconds back. But what about the podium places amongst the Cannons Motor Spares tin tops, as Terry Searles is being squeezed by Dominic Ryan and Dave Charlton? They're having their own battle for 27th position. This is frustrating for Searles. He's third in the Cannons tin tops race and would very much like to hold on to it, but he's got Glenn Rossiter swarming over his tail. It is going to be Tom Bridger who is going to take the Cannons tin tops component of the race. There's Bridger, he takes the flag. It's Graham Richardson who finishes in second, and Terry Searles does hold on for third. Frenetic stuff as ever from the Quafe Motorsport News Saloons and Cannons tin tops. Always very entertaining racing to be found. So let's have a look then at the final classification, with the victory for Dale Jed. Second place will be at 40 seconds back for Paul Eve. Ravi Ramied completes the podium from Bill Richards. That's it for this week's Full Speed Racing. Join us same time next week for more action.